Go.
Hello everybody, I am Simon and I am here to read a fan fiction of mine. I worked really hard on it, so please don't kill me when I say that it's yet another Dashie sequel. This is an idea that I thought about and I actually ended up writing it down. And yeah, so this sequel continues shortly after the first story ended, as the main character gets pulled into the world of My Little Pony. All caused by the emotional bond that he and Rainbow Dash shared together. As the force of the energy violently striking him down into the strange world in the form of a lightning strike, he was given a memory loss. He doesn't know anything about his past or memories. Now he has to explore not only his colorful surroundings, but also his own deepest memories to find out who he really is and why he was brought there in the first place. And I am not here alone. I actually have a few friends with me. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hello.
Hi, my name is Sunny. I make anime and manga reviews. Go subscribe to my channel right now. Click right here at the bottom of the screen. New to being a otaku. Subscribe, like, favorite.
Great. Just great.
Okay.
I apologize, Simon.
I'm just kidding. You can all hate me.
I apologize, Simon. Please go on.
Yes, so yeah, please do give this fanfiction a chance before you dislike it for being yet another MLD sequel. It contains love, it contains humor, it contains even a little bit of craziness, because you can't have a fanfiction without it.
Sounds
Okay,
like a regular Wednesday for me.
so we're gonna begin with the first part, that's called The Society.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I hope I do my quotes right here. Where am I? I looked around and examined my surroundings. That place was way too bright and colorful to be reality. The trees are lime green and the sky was as light blue as a baby pajamas. The only thing breaking the cartoony-like environment was the black circle underneath me. What is this? It must have something to do with my arrival to this place. The black circle looked like the crime scene of a lightning strike and was about 4 feet in diameter. I kneeled down and touched it. I could feel on the surface that it used to be normal dirt before it got scorched by some sort of intense energy. Now it felt like coal. I rose back up and I was right. It did have something to do with how I entered this place, which I did not find out until later. Far later. How are you guys thinking? Great start.
Yeah, great start. Really like it.
After several quick pinches and tests, I had confirmed that this was not a dream. Well, not a normal dream in that case. My theories had led me to believe that either this was an alternative dimension, the future, another planet, or that I'm in some sort of a coma state. The so-called lightning strike that must have brought me here had given me a memory loss. I could not remember anything about my past, not even my own name. All I knew was that I'm human and that I come from Earth. Then that was pretty much it. All of my other memories were blurry. It was as if they were floating around my mind, in arm's reach, but yet I couldn't find the force or strength to grab them. For most of the memories, it was hard to tell whether they were true or not. I took a moment to redeem as much information as I could, but an hour later, my situation had not changed. I am human, and I am from Earth, where several other humans also live in some sort of a society. Oh and yeah, for some reason, I had no problems with speaking English. To make sure of this, I began by whispering, I am human, and I am from Earth. I felt the frustration taking over me. I am human, and I am from Earth! Now, I was screaming from the top of my lungs. I am human, and I am from Earth, but I don't know my own freaking name, nor do I have any clue about my past, present, and future! All I wanted was to rest and try to solve this cruel riddle spawned in my mind by whatever force that brought me to this ridiculously colorful place. But no, now it was time to act. My amnesia had not given any sign of quitting, and sitting down on the ground definitely wasn't going to help it. I had to explore. If God put me in this place, he must have done it for a reason, and that reason was not going to land on my nose. I had to find it. God. I shook my legs and arms to warn them about the long walk I was about to start. I took one last look around to make sure that there were no clues left behind, revolving what the hell happened there. Of course, other than the scorched circle, there were none. I had just started to walk when I noticed something. In the distance, next to a puke green bush, I saw what looked to be a pair of eyes. But they were huge and could possibly not come from any human. The purple iris surrounding the giant black and shiny pupils was glued to my mind. For a second, our eyes connected. I looked into the creature's eyes, and my body was filled with a warm, fuzzy feeling that made me feel like everything was all right. Any comments?
Wow. Really great. Really great. I like
Thanks.
this.
I stepped back on a stick, and as it made a large cracking noise, I snapped back to reality, or whatever place I was currently visiting. My mouth flung open, and I yelled, "Hey! You have to help me! Hey!" The eye contact broke, and the purple eyes disappeared into the shadows. I could hear the sound of feet running away. Wait, scratch that. That was definitely not the sound of human feet. It was louder and sounded like two coconuts being slammed together. Can you demonstrate, Austin? Exactly. It sounded almost like a horse. So was this still Earth? I started to run a few feet, but my legs were still unsteady since my appearance here. What was that? Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know what that sound.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I started to run a few feet, but my legs were still unsteady since my appearance here, and the creature was much faster. Soon the clop-like noise was all out of reach, and the sound was gone. All I could do was to keep walking in that direction and debunk theories left and right. But I still could not get those eyes out of my mind. Those purple eyes. At least now I had a memory that I could be 100% sure happened. Or did it? Water break. I started to study my memories again, comparing those from Earth and the one that was much more clear as my own eyes had just witnessed it. I apparently knew what a horse was, so I studied that a bit further. Maybe I had to experience my memories for myself to be able to remember them. But all of my memories from Earth were blurry. Did they even happen? Or was that a dream and this is reality? The only real connection between Earth and this place in my memories was now horse, or at least the sound of a horse galloping. I was lost, that was for sure. I had no idea where I was, and now I was in an unknown place, within an even larger unknown place. This was also confusing. I thought for sure I was going to lose my mind. Then I saw the light. Was I dead? No. This felt too real to be afterlife. The light I saw was far in the distance. Could this have been the end of the so-called forest? I started to run again. This time I was faster compared to my poor chase earlier, which meant I had recovered at least a little bit. Just as I thought I had been through a complete recovery, my disoriented coordination got the best of me, and I tripped into the grass. The energy from my speed made me tumble around for about 20 feet before I finally stopped inside a bush. I took a moment to look for any injuries, but I was feeling fine. My legs, clear. My hands, a bit dirty, but clear. My stomach, clear. My head, dizzy, but no injuries detected. Clear. I allowed myself to get up, but now the light was gone. I turned around 360 degrees, but for nothing. All I saw was trees, and even more trees. This world was playing with me. I was nothing but a rag doll in their sadistic game with life and death. So far, I must have been playing my cards right, since I was still alive. I looked back and saw my skid marks that marked which direction I had come from. Then I turned 180 degrees in an attempt to pinpoint towards where I was running in the first place, to where I had seen the light. All there was only a big tree. A very big tree, to be exact. It took up a large portion of my view, so I took a few steps to walk around it. The light was there. It had been there the whole time, while that stupid giant tree had been making me worried about my consciousness again. The good choice would be to climb it to get a better view, but I was in no good physical condition to perform such a task, so I started walking towards my goal, which was the light that now grew larger. As I came closer, the light expanded. What was only a white dot before was now a large beam covering my eyesight from left to right in front of me as the size kept expanding. The white light slowly exchanged into more details, and I could now see grass much lighter than the moss from this tight forest. Okay, so he is out of Everfree Forest now.
I wonder what he finds.
Excuse me,
well-
my dog barked as soon as I took my microphone off of unmute. I just realized all this time I was trying to cover everything from not making noise, and I couldn't mute my microphone. Pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it, and my dog is barking. Excuse me.
I think he's enjoying it too.
Yeah, he's raving over it.
He's complimenting.
Yeah, or maybe he hates it because it's a sequel to My Little Dashie.
Like, come
Oh,
on,
that's-
like there's like
oh.
a million of those.
Or maybe he's telling people to subscribe to my channel right now. Oh, okay. As you can tell by now, I'm joking.
Yeah, I think that's kind of obvious. Okay, we're back. Sorry for the quick break. We had some few things we need to check, but we're back now, and let's get continuing this. As I took my first step onto the light green meadow, I could immediately feel a warm breeze coming from my left. I looked at that direction and saw a brown dirt road. While the dirt road had become my new goal to reach, I looked around. All in sight was meadows as far as my eyes could reach, no matter how much I narrowed them. I also saw a few mountains in the distance, but for them it was too late. The dirt road was the first to be noticed, and my mind was focused on it. Dirt roads don't come naturally. They are man-made. That means that there must be intelligent life in this world. Maybe humans. Or maybe more of those purple-eyed creatures. But they could also just be mutated horses. The fact that the creature ran away from me doesn't necessarily give it human characteristics. It could have just been animal instincts. My feet were now walking on the dirt road. My thoughts had carried me away as I didn't notice my arrival to the road, but I didn't complain and kept walking. I was feeling a lot better now, but I didn't want to run because of the simple fact that I did not trust this place. Those purple eyes may have looked friendly and given me that fuzz and warm feeling, but I just couldn't assume it to be a friend. After all, I didn't know anything about the creature apart from those capturing eyes and the horse-like galloping sound. It might have a stinger, razor-sharp teeth, claws, or maybe all mentioned above. That was when I saw the second man-made object. A few hundred feet away, I saw the back of a sign. I quickly ran up to the sign and walked around to see what was on the other side. There it said, with a clear black text on the wooden sign, "The Everfree Forest, 1 mile." There it was, a perfect display of the English language using the alphabet invented by humans such as myself. That debunked all of my theories of me being on a different planet. That left me with the options, an alternative dimension, the future, or me being in a coma state. I was really excited that this place might have had humans, but even that clear as water proof of English using intelligent creatures weren't enough to prove humans. Another animal could be the superior alpha in an alternative dimension, speaking English. Any kind of creature could be the population in a dream caused by a coma. And another animal could have evolved and developed the intelligence required to take over the Earth in the future and learn English. Planet of the Apes. I took a moment to donate a well-earned slap across the face. I was being an idiot. Of course this place has humans. I can't possibly be the only human here, I was thinking. That used to be my theory, with emphasis on used to be. Right about 22 minutes later, I discovered man-made item number 3. This one made the sign look like a single drop of whipped cream on this giant mysterious cake. It was a town. A village. It was right there. It could not be an hallucination. It was just too real. Whatever creature that made that sign must live somewhere in that village. Every single instinct in my body told me to scream for help and run into the village like a crazy fool, but my body couldn't find the courage to do so. There was something about this village that made me nervous. The buildings, all so colorful, looked different. They awoke my memories of buildings on Earth, but not skyscrapers or any regular townhouses. These reminded me of old buildings from the 18th century, from books that I've read. Books. That was a new memory. As I entered the old village, I noticed how dead it really was. Either the inhabitants are avoiding me, or it's abandoned. My mind would easily have selected the last option, if it weren't for one detail. Far over in the distance was a lantern hanging up 10 feet down the wall of one of the buildings. The fuse, it was still glowing. Someone was here, at least today. Is it because of me? But I didn't arrive here until this morning. How could they, in that case, have evacuated so fast? My thoughts were running by. Corrected. I did not redeem consciousness until this morning. I might have been here for days or my entire life. What do I know? I bet it has something to do with the purple-eyed creature. But why would they evacuate for the simple reason of me showing up? It doesn't make sense. They must be hiding in their homes. I randomly picked a building and started to knock on its door. No response, of course. I was being stupid. If they were hiding from me, why would they respond? The smart thing to do would be to say something such as, I am friendly, or I come in peace. But I just couldn't find the courage to say anything. I was too nervous. I may have a memory loss, but I have never by far been this nervous. Everything there was strange. I couldn't trust anything. Anytime now a monster can show up and attack me from nowhere, was my excuse. It was a pretty good guess. So, reactions?
Wow. I wonder, like, where's everyone at?
This is pretty good. Very good. Very, very good. I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's very serious. It's giving me the feeling of this is some really big, problems and trouble right now.
Yeah,
Like, I actually feel like this unnamed character right now, seeing as I did read My Little Dashie, I mean, I really feel like in his position right now of how serious this is.
Yeah, that's what I want to paint. That's the picture I'm trying to paint.
It's really giving me the feeling of like, oh, this is some serious stuff right here.
I really like
it. Gets better.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
I guess there may be a minor loss in quality here, but let's continue anyway. It was at around house number 7. I heard a noise. Something being knocked over on my far right. I looked and I saw them. I could recognize them anywhere, any time, and there they were, staring at me for the second time. Those purple eyes. The feeling of being safe and comfortable showered over me again. This time, it was an entire head peeking forward from behind the corner of a building. Was it the same pair of eyes from before? Yes. There was no doubt in my mind. I could see it in her eyes. Her personality. Magic. Well, now I think we have established who it is.
Oh.
I had been...
Oh, really? I have no idea.
Okay.
Is it derpy?
Okay. Yeah. Let's continue. I had been doubting the magic part the whole time, seeing her eyes for the first time, but seeing her personality in her eyes one more time made me sure of it. This was her. She had dark purple hair with 2 strings of different lighter tones of purple in it as well. No matter if it was dyed on her or she was born with it, it looked good on her. She had yet another shade of purple skin in her face and neck. All of her was like a rainbow of different shades of purple. Was it a she? I didn't know. But her personality shouted female, so it was my assumption. Also, the galloping sounds her feet made while running earlier today explained themselves. I was staring at some sort of mutated pony's head. Hey, it's you! I shouted. The purple so-called pony's head disappeared behind the corner, and the also familiar galloping sounds came over my ears one more time. This time she was not going to get away that easily. Hey, wait! I was surprised towards how fast I could now run compared to before. I had regained my strength and ability almost to a complete recovery. In the matter of seconds, I had turned the corner in which I saw the creature's head peek out, then disappear. I could hear the galloping footsteps, but the distance in between us still grew larger, which confirmed that the pony, in fact, was faster than me in speed. The galloping sounds of legs, hooves, whatever, working hard to escape, was intense as it led me to take sharp turns behind and around buildings. My legs were under hard pressure too, but I just couldn't give up on my possibly greatest clue to how I got here. The pain in my legs and my exhausted chest reminded me that I'm still alive and that I needed to rest. I was a few seconds away from giving up the chase when the sound stopped. It did not fade out as if the pony slowly caught more air in between us. No, it just stopped. I took the opportunity to catch my breath and collect my thoughts together. I had learned about myself that I have astonishingly great stamina, speed, and endurance. This chase was long as I looked around and finally realized that I was no longer in the center of the village, where buildings were lined up next to each other. The wild chase had leaded me through parks, across meadows and lawns. Now I found myself being in an open area where, compared to the center of this town, the distances between the buildings were a lot greater. I had almost no idea to where the creature went, since the distance between us was just as big for me to not see in which building she had disappeared inside. Because other than the few buildings in this area, there were no other places to hide. You guys are gonna love this part.
Oh, is it that the amazing quote?
Yeah, that quote.
No, the quote is not now. This part gives me the chills. Trust me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna hear your reactions after this. Since I had to start somewhere, I chose the building closest to me, a giant tree with windows and a front door. If this was on Earth, I would have been left flabbergasted at the astonishing creation and design. But the cartoony setting this world provided had left me used to seeing unbelievable things. The tree house looked like a library with books lined up in the windows and a small sign in front of the house with a book on it. If the creatures live in these buildings, which I was now led to believe, the myth about having humans in this village would be pretty much dead now. I walked past the small wooden sign with the book on it and approached the door. Doing the same stupid mistake as before, I knocked on the door as if someone running away from me would happily fling open the door with a smile. It's not Pinkie Pie. Okay, sorry. Well, as suspected, no one answered. I knocked one more time. Still no reply. I couldn't help the feeling of being stared at from the windows, but when I looked, no one was there. I looked at the windows one more time before I finally decided to move on to the next house. I turned around and started to walk away from the so-called library. Here it comes. I turned around and started to walk away from the so-called library. I had only taken a few steps on my way when the unbelievable occurred. The door behind me flew open, and instead of a gentle greeting, I was met with two hooves charging me from behind. One of the hooves wrapped itself around my neck, and the other one covered up my chin and mouth. My scream was transformed into the muffled, pathetic squeak by the hoof covering the lower half of my face. I could only watch as the great force of the purple hoofs pulled me inside the library against my will. Now, reactions, please.
Whoa, didn't see that going.
This is getting really, really exciting.
Wow.
I'm liking this. I feel that feeling in the pit of my stomach, like when you're about to go down a roller coaster.
Oh,
Oh, the butterflies, yes.
I kind of felt like that thing I was telling you about, the whole Applejack thing. Before, like that was funny.
This is where I'd normally end the chapter, but there's a little bit more, actually. I wanted to end it.
Continue?
Yeah, sure. There's like 2 pages left, so, and that's one.
Okay. Let's do that, and then I think we can end it.
Yeah, I wanted to end this chapter on a little bit of a happier notice. Okay, it gets better. My body landed on the hard wooden floor with a thud. My head got a pretty good hit from the push too, and I was left confused and feeling dizzy. I could see as the creature quickly slammed the door shut, locked it, and then looked over at me. I shook my head in an attempt to faster process what was going on, and as I started to get up, I was charged at by the purple creature once more. I had no match against the weight of this at least 300-pound heavy creature. It was a quick victory as she wrestled me back down to the floor, and with the help of her hooves, She held me down in a firm and steady grip. Before I could say anything in my defense, she interrupted me. No one can hear you in here, so there's no point in screaming. She spoke? She could talk? I was stunned as my brain couldn't produce a single word. The English dictionary was simply not enough to describe what was happening before my very eyes. She looked at me for a few seconds, waiting for a response, but then spoke again. How much do you remember? She asked me, but I simply wasn't listening. My brain was still in process mode and trying to compress the very happenings in this very library. I could see the bookshelves being lined up along the walls inside this giant tree, and I even noticed a bed on top of a few shelves on the second floor. This must have been where she lives, her home. Tell me how much you remember! She was now almost shouting. My eyes moved on to my attacker. This was the first time I could take a good look at her entire body. Her entire body was the same shade of purple as her face, and her tail's colors perfectly matched those from her mane. Yes, indeed, this was a pony. Or at least a very close cousin. She also had a tattoo on her flank in the shape of a sparkle. At least it looked like a tattoo. Keeping the really old houses in mind, I didn't imagine them having modern tattooing tools. She was finally able to get my attention as she now shook my body while yelling. Listen, I know you can speak. I heard you before. Don't try any tricks with me and answer my question. How much do you remember? What are you guys thinking so far?
Wonder what's gonna happen.
I'm really, really like.
Just
this is suspense.
like what's up? Like what's up with Twilight? Why is she all?
This is. She like some serious stuff is going
on. Like I could show you the Daffy Duck. Thing.
Yeah. The Daffy Duck picture describes this.
Yeah.
As the author, I'm loving this.
Yeah, this is really good, I have to say.
Okay, this is where it finally takes a turn for the better. Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
I finally gathered my senses together and gave her the response she had been waiting for. You can speak? You don't remember me? Her eyes suddenly looked far friendlier as I shook my head in response, the only part of my body I could move under the weight of this beast. She looked satisfied with her answer, but was still holding me down. Exactly how much do you remember from this place? Have I been here before? I can honestly not remember anything from this place. It's all so colorful. All I can remember is key items such as trees, buildings. I looked over to the side. Books, furniture, etc. I don't remember you. Only items from Earth, which is where I come from. Because I do, right? Earth does exist, doesn't it? The purple pony stepped off me finally and reached out a hoof to help me get up. Yes, and don't worry, I will do all I can to help you get there again. But you have to promise me not to show yourself to anyone. They would not be too happy about seeing such a strange character around here. Do we have a deal? I got up and agreed to the offer. I normally would just run for my life, but it was her eyes again. I could just trust them somehow. So, there is more of your kind here? Oh, please, call us ponies, because that's what we are. Oh, how rude of me. I'm Twilight Sparkle. And you are? Sparkle. Her tattoo. So that's why she has it. I don't know. I don't remember. I scratched my head to show her that I was confused. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. You don't go worrying now. I will do all I can to help you remember. How did she know that I had a memory loss? Maybe she overheard my scream in the forest. But why doesn't she want anyone else to know about my existence? Something was not right here, and I could almost bet that she had something to do with how I got here. My arms and legs were aching from the charge and being under such powerful pressure for so long, so I took a seat on the floor. Ugh. You must be very tired. You need some sleep. You can borrow my bed. She led me up the staircase and showed me to the bed. She even helped tucking me in. Kindness exploded inside me, and I felt like I could live like this forever. For the rest of my life. Because those two are not the same thing. But I just could not give up on the feeling that something was wrong. Apart from the whole different universe thing, that is. Why did all of the ponies hide from me then? Did Twilight warn them to avoid me being seen? In that case, why didn't she just tell me that? And why exactly can't I be seen? After discussing this topic for a while in my head, my muscle and brain took a well-earned break, and I fell asleep. That's it for the first part.
Wow, that was really good. I liked that.
That was very good. Is this the part where we give our final thoughts of the first chapter?
Yeah, please.
Okay, do you want to go first, Austin?
I just want to say, I really liked it. Really, really, really great. Like how y'all did. Great grammar and stuff. You really, really detailed things that needed to be detailed and didn't detail like every single thing. You didn't purple padded. I see. That's great. And I know like some people are gonna get a little ticked off that you have a weird voice for Twilight, but you're from Sweden, so get over it. You can't change something that's a part of you.
So probably it's because I'm male too.
It doesn't bother me. Actually, I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, dude, what's with this voice with Twilight? Why you give her that kind of voice?" But you have to realize this guy's Swedish.
It's a fan fiction reading. You don't need a perfect voice.
Yeah, you don't need a perfect voice. It helps, but it's not necessary.
Okay, I have some stuff to say, and don't worry, most of it is positive. It's really good, and it gives me the feeling of like I feel like I'm in his situation. You know, I don't know where I'm at. All this strange stuff is happening to me, and I'm just freaked out. You know, I mean, I generally feel for the guy. Like, what is going on? It's really giving me that feel of just wow, this is you know,
yeah,
just
that's what I was going for.
happening.
I didn't want people to be like smart asses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Twilight. I know. That's
yeah,
Twilight.
you know, I mean, it's giving me a very feel of like I'm not quite sure what's happening, but I kind of do, you know. So
Yeah.
it's done very well. Your pacing is excellent, even though it's only, you know, the first half of it or the first quarter. Your pacing is really well. I don't feel as if you're, you know, dragging anything out or anything like that. The only one problem I have is that you said this is a sequel to Milo Dashie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't really a main problem, but it feels like different, and not in a bad way. But like Milo Dashie was like sad and lonely. Well, this one is like, you know, you're just really excited. I mean, it's not technically a bad thing. It just feels very different. It's like it's good, but in a different way.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, you'll get into that. I think in part 3, it really gets that emotional feel that Maldashi used to have.
Yeah,
that I've pretty much
think
never
later it
seen
will.
in any other Maldashi sequel. I hope I executed that well here. It's just
Yeah.
like these first chapter. I really do want to give
Alright.
that impression that you are in his situation, you don't know anything, and you are.
Well, you have done an excellent job on that part. And I will say, I mean, it's a different feeling, but it's still a good feeling. Like, because, you know, in the starting of My Little Dashie, I live inside a place where, you know, there's graffiti everywhere. It's all sad and lonely.
Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, you know, he's in their world now, so it's different. And, I mean, it has to be different because of the situation. But it's just, it gives off a different feel, but it's a very good feel.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
should we end it here and continue another day?
Yeah.
I think we shall.
Yes. So thank you everyone for watching and listening. If you actually listened to the whole thing, leave some review of the first part down below. And this has been me, Simon, from A Hater Kill My Mom's channel. And you guys?
New to being a otaku from my channel,
And
Sonny Nicholas.
Austin Cam.
Yep.
Well,
Austin.
yep. Thanks for watching and peace out.
Yep.
Yep.
Otaku out.
Bye.
Bye.